What if I told you one of the best luxury sports sedans you can buy today isn't trying to be the newest, it isn't trying to be the fastest, and it isn't trying to impress you with a dashboard that looks like a spaceship. Instead, it's quietly hanging on to something that's getting harder and harder to find. A luxury car that's still built for people who genuinely love to drive. Welcome to Gas at the Fuel House, where we talk cars until we're out of breath or gassed up for the next ride. Whether it's a classic cruiser to modern exotics, trucks, and even things on two wheels. Today we're taking a look at my wife's car, the 2022 Lexus IS 350 F Sport all-wheel drive. She calls it red? Here's what makes this car special. It wasn't an impulse purchase. We drove almost everything we could in this price range. BMW, Acura, Audi, Genesis, Infiniti, and even some all-electric cars like Tesla and the Mustang Mach-E. Some were faster, some with more technology, some with bigger touchscreens, cars that were more and less expensive, but none of them made her smile than when she got in this car. When she first drove it, the search was over. Because sometimes the best car isn't the one with all the greatest specs, it's the one that just feels right. Years ago, Casey had a 99 WRX, and she absolutely loved that car. But one day, there was an accident, and she was T-boned, and that car was gone. Every car after that became transportation, reliable, comfortable, practical, but never something that she really loved. But then red changed that. It reminded her that driving could be fun again. And that's one of the biggest compliments you could give a car. Lexus absolutely nailed the proportions of this car. One of Casey's favorite features is what she calls the hips. I mean, just look at the rear fenders. They're not exaggerated, like they're not wide body, but there's just enough flair to make the car look planted and athletic. It's subtle. We also prefer that spindle grille over the newest Lexus design. It's aggressive without looking angry. The rear spoiler follows that same philosophy. It's subtle, tasteful, and just sporty enough without looking like it belongs on a race car. Somewhat ironically, while I was getting ready to film this episode, Red went in for scheduled maintenance, and Lexus loaned her a basically brand new 2026 IS 350 F Sport. And if you're a car person, you know what came next. We spent half the morning comparing the two, and we brought it up here to Fuel House for about an hour and picked it over. The new car is beautiful. The updates are subtle, but something surprised both of us. We still found ourselves preferring Casey's car. And one of the biggest is the front grille. The newer grille has a cleaner, more modern look, but both of us kept coming back to the 22. It's bold without feeling over-designed, and it's aggressive without trying too hard. I mean, of course, styling is subjective, and some people are gonna absolutely prefer this newer design, but after being in both back to back, the 2022 still wins us over. One thing enthusiasts love about this generation of the IS is how much work Lexus put into improving the chassis. Even though this platform dates back several years, Lexus reinforced the body structure with additional welds and structural adhesive. The suspension was retuned, the rigidity increased, and the steering response was sharpened. The result is a sedan that feels incredibly solid. You notice it going around corners. You notice it on the highway. Everything feels tight, refined, and unmistakably Lexus. Under the hood sits one of the last naturally aspirated V6s you'll find in this class. A 3.5 liter V6, 311 horsepower, 280 feet-pound of torque. No turbochargers, no hybrid assistance, just smooth linear power. And because this is the all-wheel drive model, power is sent through a proven 6-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 is 5.6 seconds and quarter mile, mid-14s. It's not the quickest car in this segment, but it was never really meant to be. It's about balance, but press the accelerator and the engine responds instantly. And the all-wheel drive system gives you confidence year-round. Now, when I asked Casey what she loves most about this car, she didn't mention horsepower, she started talking about the interior and mainly about the seats. They hug you, as she put it. And they do. They have these extra bolsters on the sides. More than I've sat in a lot of cars. It's super comfy. She says it's like her car is loving her back. Ironically, she almost didn't buy this car because of the red seats. But now she says she'll probably never buy another car with plain interior again, which now explains why she named her white car red. One of her favorite parts of the car is what she calls its old school dashboard. And I know calling a 2022 Lexus old school, it sounds a little funny, but look around. There's an analog clock, there's real buttons, real knobs, a touch screen it's there when you need it, but it doesn't dominate the cabin. And personally, I think Lexus found a nice balance. Technology should support the driving experience and not replace it. Now, if you remember the loaner that we had today, while the interior felt exceptionally well built, what you'd expect from a Lexus, the materials are excellent. Everything fits together beautifully. It has a cleaner, more modern look, but after driving them back to back, we found ourselves preferring the feel of the 22 again. It just has a little more warmth and a little more personality. And to us, it just feels more luxurious. The 22 feels more special. Now, that's completely subjective. And some people will absolutely prefer the cleaner, more modern look. But for my wife, and honestly, me too, this interior just feels like home. She likes the paddle shifters, but she almost never uses them, but she likes knowing that they're there. And she loves that this car is kind of a sleeper. A lot of people don't expect a Lexus sedan to have this much personality. It quietly blends into traffic until you decide you don't want to blend into traffic anymore. Now, no car is perfect in every way. The lane assistive on this it's a little overprotective. We leave it turned off when we drive. The warning system, I think that's a problem with a lot of cars. It's still, again, a little overprotective. It screams at you sometimes when there's really nothing there. But I think one of my biggest complaints with this car is actually the cup holder situation in the front. It sits mid-console like this, and so if you've got a large cup in there reaching for this, it's in your way. Even when it's here, going for that drive mode button, your arm is always running in to your cup. And if you don't have your cup as the driver in here, you find yourself reaching over as you're trying to drive to get your cup out. It's just really awkward to have them front to back like this. And another complaint for me that she actually likes, because she doesn't want to touch her screen and get it all dirty, is this slide pad that you use to select. Personally, I don't like it. I don't feel like it's very accurate. It jumps around a lot, and it's a button, so it's just, I don't know, it's a little hard to control. And then another complaint of hers, but this is common for a lot of cars, is this protective film that they put. So she wants to get that removed and then put a protective wrap. She saw that she could replace this check mark with one that's more of a color changing, so she could make it purple or green or yellow, or it would rotate through colors. Lastly, a couple of performance additives that she wants to do. So she's going to start with some new brakes this year and probably a new exhaust. She just wants to hear a little more throat out of that V6. And it's not because this car needs these upgrades. It's because she wants to make red a little more her own. People often ask, why do we name our cars? And I think it's because every now and then, a car becomes more than just transportation. It becomes part of your story. And that's exactly what red became. Not because it had the biggest screen or the most technology or the fastest 0 to 60 time. It made her excited to drive again. And honestly, that's the only specification that matters. So that's gonna do it for today's episode of Gassed. As you can see, our gas gauge is on E, and that is 4 exits. So that's what we're gonna do with this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to get you and your car in here so that I can tell its story, please reach out to me. There will be a link in the description below with my email on how to get in touch. Until the next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.